sheriff's office, the county clerk, all of those. And that's what we budget.
But you don't have a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-by-month operating budget for the jail.
Well, that money that we budget for the jail is what we budgeted, and it wasn't enough to cover
It's
it.
not based off of actual facts or actual costs, it's just a number that the auditor threw out there that you guys divided up.
That is correct.
What was the total amount that had to be pulled out of the general fund to help him make his payroll? So up to date.
$150,000.
So far, well,
It's gonna be projected $150,000 extra that come out of the general fund to keep the payroll made at the jail.
That was 10 people. That's full staff, 21.
Well, what we, no, we do not have a full staff. We do not.
we're half a year behind on our workman's comp. That's costing us $5,000 to $6,000 a year because we haven't been able to pay it. Hopefully, this year, if there's any money at all there, I'm going to propose that we pay that this year so that we can get back current, because it's building up on us every year. We have to delay it till the next year, and then right after the first year we have to take the budget that we get to pay that. And that's cost, they charge us an extra money to carry that over.
What departments are behind? Because I know District 1, 2, and 3, it's held out quarterly.
What departments are behind?
On workman's comp. You said we was behind on
Well, it's a total county workman's comp.
Countywide.
It's the countywide workman's comp. It's paid for the whole county.
We don't come out of each budget because it comes out of ours. Our money on a quarterly basis.
I think because your employees that you're talking about are being paid at highway T.
Okay, maybe that's.
Yeah, that's a different,
All
yeah,
right.
that's the highway T money. That doesn't come out of the county budget.
You just got me when you said we was behind, because I'm thinking, we're not.
Well, the whole county's behind, and it's about $50-some thousand that we have to pay, and it has to be paid right after the first of the year, out of the next year's budget. Then that puts us then if we catch it up, make 3 payments in 1 year to catch it up. Hopefully, if there's any money at all there, I'm going to propose that we pay it this year. It'll just come out of our carryover for next year, which has to be paid next year anyway. If there's any money left in the general fund. But to answer your question, we knew we didn't have enough money in the budget to operate the jail because there just wasn't that much money there.
Before the jail was ever built, did you ever sit down and do a budget of how much it's going to cost to operate it?
No. We did
But we
not.
built one without that.
Then they took 100,000 out of the sheriff's side and 100,000 out of the jail side. After they built it, Randy.
I know what they did. But what I'm saying, the point here is there was no consideration of how much it cost to operate that facility before it was ever built.
I agree with you.
More
Yeah.
bad decisions. That's why everything's strapped around here, is because we've made bad, quick, off-the-hip decisions instead of planning, deciding, and making sound decisions off of it.
Based off estimations instead of fact. Pretty much, ain't it, Randy?
Well, that was on the payment, but as far as the operation of the facility, there's never been a projection, to my knowledge, ever developed or designed yet, to this day, to operate that facility.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is they base the budget for the jail, to operate the jail off of
Revenue projections.
Which
projections instead of the actual.
the budget that I've done that income of $111,000 a year off that eighth of a cent is only a fourth of what is required to keep the jail legal by state statutes. That's not ever been recognized by the excise board or the commissioners. That is a cost that is there, and we are legally bound to provide the people of that facility with enough money to operate. Somebody, if we are hung out so far, everybody needs to know this, that if somebody gets killed up there, one of those prisoners gets killed up there, either in a fight or an accident or whatever, we have a tremendous amount of liability because we don't have it staffed correctly.
How many more hands do we need? I mean, Brian tell you we need. How many more?
21,
And where we gonna get the money?
and you got 10.
Where we gonna
The
get the
only thing,
money?
I'm just making a statement so that everybody knows it. That's what I'm saying. Nobody has ever put a pencil to how much it costs to operate that facility until 5 months ago.
On your new ballot, you talked about blocking off the funds for debt service only. Is that correct?
You mean,
On the half-cent sales tax, you block it off for debt service only? If we're that short on operation, why can't we use part of that
because
as an operational?
right now, on the half a cent that we're using to pay for the jail, on the ballot, it states that we can use 1/8 of that half a cent for maintenance and operation. So if we had the half a cent, we could put that eighth of a cent, which is give or take 8,000 or 9,000 a month. We could put that in maintenance and operation. We could hire more people at the jail.
So instead of a half a cent for debt service, you'd be 3/8 of a cent for debt service.
Plus a half.
And 1/8.
It'd be 7/8 going on debt service and the eighth going to maintenance and operation, therefore you could hire another person or two.
That'd be a wise thing to do.
I'm not calculating that because a half a cent, if you take 3/8 of that for debt service and 1/8 of that half a cent for operations, that's what
Right, I'm saying,
it's not 7/8.
I say if we passed the other half a cent, it would free up that eighth of a cent to go into maintenance and operation. If, talking hypothetically, if the other half a cent was passed. Maybe I misunderstood your question, but
Well, I'm saying if half cent's too much to pay for it, which I'm hearing, then if you fence that all off for debt service and you still got a need for operation,
oh, I get what you're
you
saying.
take a little of that
Well,
that you're, in other words, jail, debt service, and operation.
well, you brought up a good question. I might refer back to Randy and Bobby, because Randy was saying that if we take up a half cent, it would be too much, and Bobby's saying it won't be enough. Did I understand you right, Bobby?
Well, that's why I wanted to see what the new ballot said, because the old ballot said the additional half cent could be used for both debt service and maintenance and operation. It could be used for both. And it also said that 3/8 cents would remain for debt service, and the other remaining 1/8 would go back to the county's general fund for general use. Paul said that would change, and the entire 1 cent now would be.
On the old ballot, on the first half a cent the county voted for, an eighth of a half a cent can be used for maintenance and operation. As of right now, the whole half a cent is going towards the debt service.
I understand,
If
but the ballot called for that to change, the original ballot, and that's why I asked what the new ballot said.
Are you talking about the ballot, when was it, the VOTEC or the original ballot?
The VOTEC ballot. It says,
Was the ballot ever produced?
it
Yeah,
says,
so-
No,
No, it was never produced.
It was on the resolution,
yeah,
right?
it was produced.
No, there was a resolution, They had the proposition on their ballots when they were.
We never printed a ballot.
We
It
had a
says
copy
printed,
of the ballot.
but we had a copy of the ballot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
proposition.
Yeah.
What the wording would have been.
But to answer your question, Paul, you know, it sounds like we've got 1 cent, assuming that we can pass the tax and it's legal and it stands up or whatever, just assume you pass it. We've got 1 cent dedicated for the jail. We need a zero-based budget that says this is what it's gonna take to pay the debt, including principal and interest, and what it's gonna take to operate the jail on an ongoing basis. And also projections for 5 and 10 years out, because I don't think the sales tax is gonna keep up with inflation and the other forces that are gonna cause the jail to, cost to increase. And I think that was your question.
Well, you may be right about that, Bobby. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen 3 or 4 years from now. But I mean, I, you know, with the city working on their economic development plan, I mean, I'm not saying this or that. I mean, I hope our city grows. I hope it does. I mean, I hope we generate some new tax. And I mean, I do believe this. I believe everybody in this room just wants what's best for Haskell County. Just get it taking the right avenue.
Agreed.
But getting back to your statement, I think the resolution needs to be set in stone, because then you get into what happened with the hospital. That resolution said, well, we're gonna pass this and we're gonna build onto the hospital or use it as being necessary. And we all know that there was never a shovel put in the ground for the hospital.
Well, I'm not thinking that it's gonna be open-ended, but I thought they were talking the whole amount to be fenced for debt service only,
Right.
when there might be a need for some operation.
Right, but that leads you into what you and I consider operation may not be what they consider operation expense.
Actually, you considering the first ballot too, the first vote, the first half cent.
I don't recall ever even seeing it.
That's original.
That's one that, the first one?
Talk about it at the vote.
Oh, no, well, that's
No,
not,
that's not valid.
what we're
That's
looking
on what I've
at,
got.
what we're discussing here or something, is
I think what
combined.
Max was referring to is the original ballot when we built the jail, where it's 3/8 and 1/8 of doing the same again, and giving 3/8 addition for the payment and 1/8 addition to the maintenance. Is that right?
Yes.
Operations, yeah.
How do you feel about? How do y'all feel about this? You think it ought to be the other way? Or?
Yeah, if you're running short on the operation money and it's going to be an overkill on payment, yeah, if you did it the same way again, that would give, that would double both. If it passed, that would double both of them the same.
Sounds good to me.
Because you're lacking funds on operations, that would give more for operations.
Is there any more open discussion with the jail committee?
Paul, if we got those people down here, here's the talking about it, and we can pay them, could we still get something done by the 28th, I think, or
No. This is our last, it has to be handed in this Wednesday.
we should already be doing that then, I guess.
Well, like Randy said, Randy and the committee has been working extremely hard, and I appreciate all their efforts. I mean, they put in a lot of time just getting us caught up for this year, and I don't think they've had time to do that, to be honest with you. I mean,
No, wait a minute.
It's
It's been 3 months trying to get rid of Floyd Law Firm
yes.
and get these new folks on board. We just got them on board last week by your votes. I had to ask you to vote for them to get started on it.
Correct. But anyway,
I wish it was here now.
I do too.
Well,
But I will say this, Roger, maybe they will give us some advice we haven't heard. I'm not saying they will or they won't. But when you talked to Nody, you was talking to a pretty well-informed county government man. I don't,
And it's his opinion that you didn't have a chance going out for it.
correct, that's his opinion. That was his opinion. So,
He
I mean,
also
but
said he wasn't no lawyer.
he said he wasn't no lawyer. But we talked to a pretty sharp guy, and what I took from it is either sales tax or property tax, and hey, we've been over that. And I'm just here for whatever the people want. That's what I'll be happy with. Is there any new business? If there's no new business, I'm gonna make a motion with adjourn.